Well, my name is David Ruff, and we're always looking at the economy. We're always looking at different ways to make money through this recession, and there's a lot of possibilities. This is the really great and fun part for you, is that it's going to be fairly easy for us to be able to tell how trends are behaving. So when we're going to be taking a look at trends, we can always see that there are very, very predictable ways for us to get through this. And so those ways we see when there's big booms, we know why. It's either government or interest rates, which could be construed as, both of those are the same. Those drops are very, very predictable. The drops are very predictable. And so we got to stay away from those. Montreal Property Services, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks very much for coming on. So we got to know what these are. They're very, very predictable. And so we want this to come and show you what these are. Now, when we're going to be looking at those interest rates these days, the interest rates are completely inverted. Fixed rate mortgages are lower than variable mortgages. And you have to ask yourself, why on earth is this happening? This is a sign of a very, very, very sick market. It is not doing well. And you need to do something about this, I think. You should be seeing this as a big sign and a sign for you to be getting out of dangerous properties. And so all over Canada, we're seeing different things. So here's a Moncton property that we're taking a look at. Now, this is a tiny little place, Eastern Canada, but the prices haven't changed very much. Just go back until 2020, properties were 180, but they went all the way to 340. If you actually take a look at that, that's almost a doubling of prices. But when you see that, doubling of prices is ridiculous. But look at how much that has gone up. You would say, well, that's crazy. But look at the prices on these Toronto properties. My goodness, unbelievable. For properties to double and triple in a decade, it's a very, very unhealthy market. So in this example, in Toronto, 1.3 million, dropping all the way to $1 million. This is a bankruptcy event for the majority of people. So you have to make sure that you're not going to get sucked into these problems. So many people are calling me in utter panic because they cannot afford their mortgages anymore that are at 9.9%. I need you guys to understand what 9.9% interest is a level of insanity. Where I am, if you just looked up the average salary in Toronto, for example, if we just take a look at that, what is the average city of Toronto salary in Canada is $39,000 per year. What? It depends on where you're looking, right? But how is it that on a $1.2 million house, you're going to have to spend $120,000 in interest a year? This is a mega problem. Now, where people are making their biggest mistakes, in my opinion, is that they do not understand what mortgage rates actually do to them, how it affects them. So in this case, let's just do this again, and we do this all the time. But if we just want to know what is the difference on a mortgage. So in Toronto, for a $1.2 million property, and we normally have it amortized over 25 years when we're going to get a renewal, the difference in payments go from $5,000 up to $7,700. So that interest rate hike, that is like a 60% increase in rates. Now, 6% is a lie in essence, though, because this type of rate right here, this price is not accurate. So this is if you have immaculate credit and immaculate debt service ratio. But people who have to go get loans right now, we're seeing the tightening of the standards where they're given 8-9% mortgages. So imagine you had I talked to somebody today, 9.9% mortgage. So your payments went from $5,000 a month to $10,800. Can you imagine that? And so if that same dude could only pay $5,100, he didn't get any increase in his salary at all, okay, where would you have to be? So here's $500,000. Let's make it the exact same, okay? Oh, you can pay more than that. So let's try 600,000. We're just trying to come up with something similar, right? So maybe 575 will be close enough, okay? But this is what I mean is if you had a $1.2 million home at 2%, that's equivalent to a $575,000 home at 10%. That means home prices got to drop 50% to come in line with salaries. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. So I know that people are trying to get their money out of their properties, but it's not happening right now, unfortunately. And we're seeing a lot of trouble in the market right now. So, Tony, what's the price at College in Dufferin? If you want to give me your postal code, I can help you look that up. So this is going to be a problem that is going to continue to hurt people over and over and over again. Now, the good things. Let's take a look at the good things. If you take a look at a chart of where property prices have been in the past 12 months, 1.1 million average in Toronto, all the way to 1.1 million. Absolutely fantastic to see that. It feels like, well, everything has gone away. But if we look back a little bit farther to where it peaked last year, then you start to see some of the cracks in the system. Because at 2 years, now you'll see property prices were at 1.3 million. Last spring, and now it's 1.1 million right now. So that drop is a big drop, and banks now are a little bit jumpy. Let's say they're very, very jumpy about these price changes, right? And not a lot of people can afford that drop in those prices. So if we went back far enough, I don't know if we could pull it up far enough. Prices typically are always going up. And so everybody is okay when the market is going up. Very few people have any experience when the market is going down. When the market is going down is when we're going to actually get hurt. Market going down is where we could suffer. So let's take a look, you guys, at a couple other digits as we go through this, and let me know what you guys think. Again, you know that I sell properties here in Toronto, so you can always go to sellhigher.ca, sellhigher.ca, sell your home for more money faster and less hassle. It's a free consultation if you're looking to sell your home. So please remember, we're in very, very dire situation right now when it's coming to this. Also, please watch my video on commercial real estate. It is the biggest threat that we are facing right now in the market, absolutely hands down. So let's take a look at some of the other cities in Canada. We get a lot of people that contact us from Calgary, from Edmonton. We're just going to do some of the main cities and try to compare them back and forth. Montreal is we get a lot of calls from Montreal. I got one 2 days ago from Saskatoon and maybe Victoria. Let's take a look at some of these and see. You should be able to see some patterns. So the patterns that you're going to see is that when things were going up, they were all going up across the board. When things were coming down, they were coming down across the board. One giant lever. And so as that one giant lever is happening, it's going to be behaving in different ways. But we see these curls curling up at the very end. Those curls that are curling up is because the interest rates from the commission part of the interest rate from the banks are going up, down. But the government rate has not changed. And so that's where you have to pay attention to those two different things happening at the same time. Tony, a property at 49 Rush Home Park Crescent for sale. Oh, well, like I couldn't tell you it in a second, but if you give me the basic like detached property and what postal code it is, you can let me know. All right, so our interest rates going down. This is what we always try to teach everybody, is that there's many different parts of the interest rate, many different parts. Let's see what we can do to help you out with that. So at the same time, interest rates could be going up and they could be going down, which I know sounds crazy. It's not even possible, right, that it does that, but it is. Happens all the time. All right, so let's see if we could, I'm going to try to share my screen with you. And let me know if you see this. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't find it fast enough. I don't want to keep you guys waiting. Airbnb Savage, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. So I'm just going to describe it to you, okay? And hopefully that'll work for now. I'll try and fix it on the rest of the part. But here's the main thing. If you are trying to have your mortgage, there is the government portion of the mortgage, and then there's the commission portion. The commission portion is what's tied to the bond rate. So the government, Bank of Canada, will stay level, and the amount of commission that they want to make on top of it changes every single day. All right, so let's try to see what we can do with that, and let's try to share the screen, and then you guys could let me know what you think of it after, okay? So we're going to try to figure this out. This is a good question. We have it every single week. All right, so let's look at Bank of Canada mortgage rates. Rates. You should see, let's see if it's here. Those are treasuries. We're looking for their mortgage rates, policy interest rates. There we go. Bank of Canada. Here are the rates. As we know, they raised them 8 times. Bang, 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 all the way up. Then they paused twice. So the central bank is at 4.5%, 4.5%. So that 4.5% does not change. Have you seen this change? No, we have not seen that change at all. The second portion of that of your bank of your rate is look up any country and just look up what the bond yields are. This is how much commission that they want to make. And so on top of that 4.5%, we have to look at what kind of commission does the bank want to make? What percentage do they want to make? And look at those jagged lines. They're bouncing up all over the place. So as they bounce all over the place, it's affecting home prices and affecting the mortgage that you're going to have to pay. So right now, if we just going to zoom out, this is 1 year. Let's zoom in a little bit to the past 1 month. If we look at the past 1 month, we're seeing that the numbers are going up and up and up and up over the past month. That is because they're expecting the rates to actually go up on June 7th. So this is going to continue. So when you're going to pay your mortgage rate, you, me, everyone else, we're paying not only to the central government, Canada, United States, doesn't matter what country. This is the amount that we pay to the central government. And on top of it, we have to pay the bond yield price on top of it. So this is how you're going to try to figure it out. This is what you have to think of. So at one point, this might go down and this one might go up. So at the end of the day, it's the combination of the two, right? That's what we have to figure out. Tony is asking for a certain area code, you guys. I see some extra questions coming from online at YouTube. So let's, I'll get to you guys in 1 second. All right, so let's take a look at M6J is what he's asking for, M6J, and we'll take a look at what's happening with prices right there. And let me know if there's any other areas that you want me to take a look at. Just hang on 1 second. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. So hopefully you understand what the difference is for those interest rates. Let's try to zoom back to 2 years. I think that's what took us some time. So inside of the M6J area code, property prices over the past 2 years, they peaked at 1.4 million. Currently, nice bounce up to 1.1 million. So that's really, really good. Overall, I'm glad that it has bounced up for you since January. It's come up. That's expected. This one right here at 1.24, I would guess that this one is an outlier. This one does not look correct to me. So does this one right here. It's not following the trend of every other area code that we look at all the time. All right, so would you go with a 1 year or 3 year fixed or variable right now? So I would not do a 3 year fixed for sure. Absolutely not. If I was going to fix, I'd fix for 1 year. But even going variable, you know, not so bad. Not so bad to go variable for a year. But, you know, I probably, if it was me, I'd fix for a year. This is for Adi Kupa. How does supply and demand affect the price with high interest rates environment? It doesn't matter. This is a good question for Myrna. She's asking, like, how does supply and demand affect the price? That's the only thing that affects the price, actually. It is the only thing that will continue to affect the market. If people cannot afford the mortgages, then home prices are going to come down. Simple as that. And so high interest rate forces the majority of people out of being able to purchase a property. And this is exactly what's happening right now. We're going to see that number continue to fall. All right, we have another question for M5V. So let's pull up that one. Let me guys know if you have any other questions. I like seeing them come in. I have about 10 questions to catch up to, and I'm going to answer all of them. M5 Victor. Let's see what we can find for you. Average price inside of M5V, if we go back to February last year, peaked at 861,000, currently sitting at 781,000. So, I mean, that is a really, really, really good bounce that it's had. So, this would be a place that I would be considering wanting to sell a property in, that because it hasn't gone down very much. It hasn't gone down very much according to what the lending rate is right now. Yeah, if this was down, like let's say in some areas they're down 40%, then it's a fantastic time to think about actually selling the property, buying a property. I suspect a double top with housing before we see a carpet sweep, if we ever see it. Yeah, I expect that too, for sure. We are in a channel effect right now. If you look up psychology of money, and if you look up that, I don't remember, it's Wall Street Bets or something like that. Well, not Wall Street Bets, but there's a chart that is always used. Not really sure where it is. It's Wall Street something. Psychology of a market. Market. Wall Street, something like that. There we go. This is the same chart that you're going to see over and over and over again in your life. So this is where you have to know where we were. When do you think that we had massive boom after the 2020, massive boom up, massive thrill, massive euphoria? We're making $100,000 a month, and then a massive fall, and then this little bump up right now that we're having in prices. That's right here in complacency. Unfortunately, that complacency phase or the channeling phase happens before a drop, almost always in history. So there's always this same pattern that keeps on coming up. Good questions, you guys. Good questions. All right, so let's continue on. Myrna, but with such low supply, isn't it possible for prices not to drop despite interest rates being high? So, Myrna, this is a good question. This is a good question. So this is the number one question that we get from absolutely everybody. And that I need you to not think about it that way. Here, let me think about it another way. They always say that immigration is going to be the answer to this. Immigration has to be the answer. Immigration is the only answer. But here is, Canada brought in over 1 million people in 1 year. So if every single person coming to Canada had $250,000 to put down on a house and $250,000 a year job in order to afford the house, then you are right. Yes, absolutely, it would work. Let's go to the other side. If you had 1 million people who all came into Canada who all had to go on welfare, would that help the country or down? No, it wouldn't. So the number of people that come into the country does not answer the question. It's the amount of money that comes into the country. Unfortunately, Canada's track record over the past many years, we don't bring in a lot of people with money. We're bringing in a lot of people that need help. And unfortunately, they don't have the cash in the bank to buy the house. So, yeah, that's not working right now. And so, supply will force changes. It won't force people to be able to pay more. It's going to force people to move out of the areas that they live in. So that's what we're seeing right now. Airbnb Savage, you said thanks. You're very, very welcome. Very welcome. All right. So let's continue on. How do you negotiate? Been doing it for 30 years. I think that there's a lot of work to do that. Lots of books. That's what I would say. Read lots of books on it and practice. Also, you said last time they wouldn't increase rates. Okay, so this right here is where they did not increase the rates. This is the Central Bank of Canada has not raised the rates. They are pausing rates. But when you look at the bond rate, which is going to dictate the second half of your mortgage rates, this is the amount of commission that they're intending to charge on top of the central bank rates. That's going up. This is not in control of any central government. This is a voting machine. The market is a voting machine. I feel the only way to buy a house in Toronto is by buying a house with a basement apartment. Yes, you are correct. Yep. The only way that you buy in Toronto is with something with a basement, for sure. L5W is an area that you guys want me to look up. Let me know if you have any other policy questions or something that's going on right now. You guys, if you're interested in selling your properties, this is where you can find me. Sellhigher.ca. This is where we sell your homes for more money, faster, and less hassle. It's a free consultation if you're looking to sell your property. So reach out to me anytime. All right. So let's take a look at this area code that you want me to look up. This is L5W. We've looked at this one many times in the past. I've worked in this area lots. So we saw just a second ago, there was another area that was only down 8%. This one dropped from 1.6 million down to an average of 1.3 million. That's a big drop in prices overall, but this is not the worst. We have a lot of areas that are down 40, 50%. So not the same. We have another one asking about L4Y. Let's show you that one too. So the average right now is probably down about 25%. Again, it really, really depends on the type of product that you're in. L5W. Oh, no, L4Y. Sorry. 4Y. So if the rate is very, very small, that's the time that you want to be selling. If the rate is huge, that's when you want to be actually buying. So right now it's up 22%. You can't count that, right? Because that January 22 numbers were off. So if you look right here at the peak at 1.3 million inside of L4Y, 1.3 million down to 1.1 million. This is very average right now. 1.3 down to 1.1. $1,099,000 is what they're actually selling for right now. But he's asking about a detached 3-bed. So let's take a look at a detached 3-bed and see where we're sitting here. Here we go. Detached 3-bed, 11.7%. Property prices peaked at 1.6 million, currently sitting at 1.4. That's where we're sitting right now. Market is a little slow. I would say it's actually a lot slow. Market is ridiculous. We're probably down 60, 70% as far as the actual number of closed transactions that is happening in real estate. So that's really, really, really down. But guess what? The number of phone calls that I get are through the roof. It's unbelievable. Everybody is in a sheer state of panic these days. Haven't seen anything like it in my career. So everybody and their dog wants to call and talk about the market, but nobody wants to do anything, which is exactly the reason that everyone's going to lose their property. People are going to be losing their properties, unfortunately. Are fixed rates tied to the bond rates? Yep. And variable rates of Bank of Canada key lending rate. So all rates, the only rates when we're talking about mortgage rates, the only rate that they can do is affect the overnight rate, which is this rate right here. The overnight rate is the only rate. So all the other bonds that you see for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, all of the other rates is a voting machine. All they can affect is the overnight rate. What after rate hike of 25% will happen? Well, that's a good question, guys. So what will happen at a rate hike? So check this out. I'll show you. If you take a look at this, we're going to make some easy numbers. Okay. So $1 million. Okay. We're not going to do 1.2. Let's do 2 different examples. 1 million, 1 million. Okay. And we're going to change some interest rates. So we got to move this one. And let's say this one was 9%. There's people with that right now, but if you want me to use the preferred rate, I can. Let's say 6% and 6.25%. We're just going to Guys, can you hear me now? I'm very sorry. I don't know what I did. I hit the wrong button. Can somebody just tell me if you can hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Sorry about that, you guys. All right. So we were talking about Cambridge properties. Cambridge properties took a massive, massive beating. Cambridge properties are down about 50% overall. And I mean, that's unbelievable, to be honest with you. I can't believe that it dropped that much. Okay, so I think that I actually messed up. I think I closed I closed something. So let's open some more stuff then. Um, how did I do this? Oh well, we'll get that back. All right, you guys. So let me know what other questions you have, and I'm going to try to answer them. So, guys, right now I'm sitting on a whole bunch of different programs. I'm on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and a whole bunch of them. So let me know what other questions you have while I'm pulling them up, and I'll try and help you out. I see somebody asking about Ottawa. That's a good question. M6E. Fine here. You hear me? Newfoundland, Winnipeg. Oh my God. You guys, I got a lot of questions coming up. Okay, I'm going to have to start pounding through some more of this stuff. Can you just give me 1 second while I pull up my numbers here again, because I want to make sure that I can give you guys all the value that I can. So real estate is going to be continuing, right? It's going to be continuing up, up, up. And what do I mean by up? I mean interest rates. And the pressure on people is going to be continuing up as well. So let's try just to open this up, because I got some individual people who are looking. I just have to log in. When I saw that my volume was off, I panicked, and I was like, oh my God, what did I do to everybody? Okay. Good. Let's see if you guys are now in. Boom. Love it, you guys. Glad that you can all hear me. Thank you very much for letting me know. Thank you for your patience. All right. So I got some questions coming in about different areas. Let's try to speed through them and let you guys know. I saw Ottawa on the list. I saw Ottawa on the list, and I saw Winnipeg on the list of places that you were looking at. And let me show you Winnipeg and Ottawa. So Ottawa prices in 2020, 440, spiked almost, 3/4. 728, crashed all the way down to 603, and now it's recovering 635. Nothing to really write home about, right? But when we're looking at Winnipeg, much more stable, unbelievable. Winnipeg 280 up to 630, down to 323 at the low in December, and now it's curled up slightly to 344 average price in Winnipeg. Problem is with Winnipeg, very landlord unfriendly, same as Ontario. Unfriendly areas, and you don't really want to invest into unfriendly areas. That's the problem. They're not landlord friendly. Okay. Woo! I'm going to get to all you guys. Airbnb rules in or near Blue Mountain. And is it a good to invest there? No, I would not be investing in Airbnb right now. Absolutely not. If it doesn't make sense for a year-to-year loan, there's no point in actually doing anything right now. L4Y Mississauga detached. L4Y. We're looking for Mississauga detached. Let's take a look at detached properties. There's a sizable amount there. So if we look back, we always want to look back 2 years just to see where we're behaving. Property prices peaked out at 1.7 in that area. And look at right this at 1.6. This does not follow trend at all. So you guys, this is what I would be expecting from December up, where there was a peak. So this, I would strongly suspect that the average is not 1,699,000. I would suspect that there's a couple that actually sold that were very, very high. This is very abnormal. This peak, and this peak, these three are very abnormal compared to the regular charts. So we would have to do some more research in that one, to be honest. You probably are higher than this 1,274. You're probably sitting at like 1,325,000 or something like that as an average. I wouldn't use that as an average. 20% average. 20% average down on prices. Yeah, in most areas. But there's a lot of areas, depending on the product, that they're only down 5%. Some are up. And we also have areas that are down 40%. It really, really, really depends. L6 Zulu. Let's take a look at that one. Again, if you guys on YouTube have questions for me, please let me know. I can help you guys too. If you guys are on Facebook, let me know. And I'll try to get to any one of your comments. L6Z, if you look at the prices last year, averaged at 1.39 million. That's 1.4 basically. Now it's at 1.1. So if we look at that, that's very, very common. You know, down $300,000. This is about right for where we are in the cycle, but it's going to fall more because of the interest rates and the lag effect. This info is not available to the public, no, because it's very, very expensive to do, and it costs a lot of money for it. 1.6 million versus 1.4 is the same as 5 fees or versus 2.5% fees. What? 1.6 million versus 1.4 million is the same with 5% fees versus 2.5% fees. No, I don't think so. 2.5% of 1.4 million is not 200,000. So that's not correct. Winnipeg, I already looked up. St. John's. Yeah, let's pull up St. John's if you guys want. Am I doing a good job of keeping up with all this? I think I'm doing a fantastic job, you guys. Anyway, that's just me. So St. John's, New Brunswick, if we look at when we started printing money in St. John's, good to know, 261. Where did it peak out at? 322. Oh, man, how easy is that one? And prices right now are sitting at 311. So talk about stable. My goodness, look at this. It's great. Fantastic. Brampton East is where we're looking for. So let's take a look at Brampton East, you guys. Brampton, I think we could do good with Brampton. Brampton is a super, super popular place. There's a ton of properties that are selling in Brampton all the time. So if we take a look at Brampton markets right now and see where they're sitting as far as prices are concerned, they were 1.3 million is the average price in Brampton, currently sitting at 1 million, almost 100,000. So 1,350,000 to 1,100,000. This is very, very, very common. So this is not the detached price. This is including all townhomes, all semi-detaches. But I could tell you that this is pretty much the price of a semi-detached, which is in the middle of the product line. So that would be a good thing to see it at. M6 Edward is a question that they have. M6 Edward for that area. We could do that one as well. M6 Edward. Interest rates are probably going to be going up 0.25% coming up. Here's 20% down on average. That's about normal. 1.3 million inside of M6 Edward. M6E is your area code. 1.3 million, currently sitting at 1,030,000. So that is a big drop, right? I mean, it is. No matter how you slice it, it is. Now, in the past 12 months, yes, it looks good. 12 months, it looks good. But that doesn't take into the massive drop that we had at the beginning of last year. So we always have to make sure that we're keeping that in account, right? Okay, so let's continue on then. I got so many of you guys answering me questions, so this is great. Thank you. So this guy thinks that real estate agents are terrible. You know what? But that's kind of like a stupid thing to say, really, because on everything in the entire world, there's good and there's bad. Good ones and bad ones. I mean, there's good garbage guys and good bad garbage people, and good chiropractors and bad chiropractors. And there's good agents and bad agents. So it's kind of like it's not really thoughtful to say that all of one kind of person is stupid. So I don't think that that's a very intelligent thing to say. Brantford. All right, so let's try and see if I have Brantford here. Brantford. Yeah, I do have Brantford. Let's take a look at how Brantford is behaving. Brantford has been going through pain, man. I'm talking serious pain. So if you take a look right here in March, where we started 450, prices spiked up to 850. Unbelievable, right? That's like an 80% spike in prices. And look at that drop down to 600. So, I mean, for you to go from 850 down to 650, that is a massive drop, 25% drop in prices. That, my friends, is a bankruptcy event. That's huge. And you would say, my God, that place is brutal, right? Because I just showed you the charts and how bad it is. Let's look at the worst offender in Canada. Now, all of a sudden, when you see this is what we were just looking at in the Brantford area, is this light blue. Check out this one in Oakville. Oh my God. These people lost $400,000 on the way down. Oh my goodness. They got pounded. Unbelievable for them. Okay. So we have somebody asking about London. So why do people like to go in the super high risk areas? Oakville, I wouldn't do that. Okay, London. So we just have to always look at where it was before, 400 before the pandemic. Where are we now? It went all the way to 800. So that's a doubling in price, dropping all the way down to 560. So now you're losing 30% on the properties in Ottawa, London, but prices have come up. But how much? It went from 568,000 up to 607. So it didn't change too much, right? But that might help you a little bit. That is 10%. So that would help, right? All right. So let's check out L6A is an area that someone's asking us about. And Chatham, L6A. And see what we can find with L6A. If we take a look at L6A, where did we start? $1,790,000 is where we started off. Where are we now? 1.6. So if you were at a 1.7 and it dropped to 1.6 and that was it, my goodness, that means for me, that's sell time. If this was at minus 20, that's about average. But if a lot of areas, this is minus 40. So if this was minus 40 right here, then that would be a buying opportunity. So you have to see how each different area is behaving. Chatham. Let's see. Do I have Chatham on here, you guys? You guys are keeping me on my toes tonight. I think people are really, really concerned about the market these days. I don't know if I have it, you guys. I don't have enough data for Chatham. I'll have to look into that next time for you guys. I'm sorry about that. I don't have that one. November 7M. I don't know where that is. November 7M. Postal code? Chatham Kent. Yeah. I don't have Chatham Kent right now. I don't have enough houses right there to run an analysis for you. I'm sorry. But I could tell you, we were just dealing with somebody up in Sarnia, up here. When you head out here, the loan to values are much, much more even. So if you have a really good even number, it's probably something that you would want to be staying into. I would not be selling, but I also would not be considering buying right now. There's a lot of properties in Toronto that you really think that you should be considering selling right now. So L1J is somebody that is here. L1J. Let's pull you up, okay? L1J. Let's see what we got for L1J. Do I not have it? I'm going to pull you up. L1J. All right, L1J, there you go. Average prices were $1 million at the beginning of last year. Currently sitting at $788,000. That's about average. This is about an average what we're seeing overall. This is a pretty common chart. Now, again, we could look at detach or non-detach or whatever that is. They all depend on what they will be. But if you ever guys are thinking of selling your properties, you could always go to sellhigher.ca. This is where you can sell your home for more money, faster, and less hassle. Free consultation if you guys are thinking of selling your property, so you can reach out to me anytime you want. Okay, so let's go back to, we're looking for, somebody is just mentioning Caledonia. Let's see how many properties we have in Caledonia. To see if I have enough properties in Caledonia. I don't. Try to spot I have a lot of different cities that I work with. So tell me if you see Caledonia anywhere here. I don't think I saw it. These are the properties that I'm looking at all the time. So I don't have that one. I'm sorry. BTR Chilliwack. So if we're looking at Chilliwack, I don't have a town just for Chilliwack. I know that. But I think that what I do have is interior. That's the best I got. Or we can look up, I guess we could look up Abbotsford, but I'm not sure if it's going to do it for us. Let's try and see if is Abbotsford here. No. All I have is, oh, I do have Chilliwack. Dang. Freaking beautiful. So Mr. Odu, how are you? We do have Chilliwack. Good job, man. Good spotting me. Awesome. There we go. So average price in Chilliwack coming up when we started money printing 500,000. Look at where it ended up at 900. So that is massive, 80% gain. From 900, it dropped as low as 678. Very, very common. And it bumped the prices up right now. Currently selling at $706,000 for properties in Chilliwack. But you see, it's nothing compared to how Oakville is actually behaving. Oakville is the worst. Oakville is brutal. All right, you guys. So let me know if you have any questions about interest rates, about where things are heading right now. This is what I'm here for. And so let me know how I can help you. And let's see what we can all learn together. I think that if we learn together, we're going to do better in this crazy, crazy, crazy market that we're in right now. Halliburton. You guys are giving me all of these places that I don't have enough data for that. I'm sorry. This is a private site. Unfortunately, it's not available to the public. Caledon, L7C. L7C. But you know what? Real estate all behaves very, very similarly. If you've done this as long as I have, it actually can, like I can pin down, you could drop me out of an airplane into any city in the world, and you can be very, very successful in real estate if you just understand the principles of it. So average prices in detached property for L7C, you saw last year, it was at 2.1 million. So this thing in May right here, when interest rates are going up, that is an anomaly. That does not fit the general pattern. So you could not use that. Also, this one right here in October of 2022 at 2 million, you cannot use that. This one right here, 2.2 million in January. That means just a couple properties skewed the entire lineup. Where it's sitting right now at 1.5 million, that's probably closer to where it is. Like dropping from 2 million down to 1.5 and dropping 25%, that is probably accurate. So you see right here, it's calculating it at negative 23%. That's about where you would be. But these massive spikes, these three, are completely out of character for L7C. It just doesn't fit right now. Do you sell a lot of homes with pets? Yeah, we sell homes with pets all the time. Like, wait a second. Do you mean the pets come with the house? If that's what you mean, then the answer is absolutely no. Sorry, I had to say that. I'm sure that's not what you mean. Okay, so if you guys want to ever reach out to me, go to sellhigher.ca, sellhigher.ca, where you can sell your home for more money faster and less hassle. It's a free consultation. We operate around the Greater Toronto area and all of Southern Ontario, depending on where it is. Freddie is saying, "Hey, buddy, how are you? Good to see you. The market isn't slowing down. I see multiple bidders again." You're absolutely correct. Now, we are seeing some crazy numbers. So let's take a look and show you that. So why is that happening? It's very, very easy. And the reason is most people have no idea what's actually happening in the market. So when you're seeing this is total Toronto prices as a combined total, if you look between January 980,000 jumping all the way up to 1.1 million average on prices. So $120,000 have been resurrected out of nowhere for homes. So this can only happen if interest rates went down or if everyone's salaries went up. Well, we know that people's salaries didn't go up, and the Bank of Canada didn't raise their rates or lower their rates. What has Bank of Canada done? Bank of Canada has kept their rates steady. Take a look. Policy rates, they have been steady. Okay, all of January, their next meeting in March, their meeting in April. Steady, steady, steady. Okay, that's the first thing that the government hasn't. And the second thing is the bond rates. So the reason why that this is the amount of commission that banks want to make on top of it. So if you take a look at where we are year to date, early in the year, when we were starting to have banking troubles, they dropped the amount of commission they want to make. Every time they drop that rate, then it becomes very, very, very easy to buy a house and home prices go up. Exact same thing happened right here when Silicon Valley Bank and all the other banks ran into all those troubles. When they started dropping into trouble, people were willing to accept a lower commission when they were selling you a mortgage. And that has persisted through the end of March, April, and a lot of May. But a lot of that is going away. As you can see right at the end of the chart, the numbers are just going straight up. Let's go into the past month. It is straight up. So very, very low, 2.8. Now it's sitting at 3.57. That's a 0.75% increase. That's a big difference when it comes to bonds and when it comes to mortgage rates. So as mortgage rates are coming up now, you're going to see that lag effect as it start going to push down home prices. So this resurrection in prices that you're seeing right now cannot sit around, cannot stay. Huge fires in Halifax today. So far, 14 homes lost in the fires. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. That is terrible news. There's never a time that fires is a good thing, man. My goodness. Unbelievable. So sorry about that. Yes, absolutely. Keep them in our prayers, you guys. All right. So Myrna is asking about M8V. Let's try to pull up M8V is what she's asking for. M8 Victor. Let's see how they're doing. M8 Victor. So obviously you guys should be able to see anomalies with certain charts immediately. M8 Victor, we did see in January, February, all homes going up, peaking out at $1 million. This is very, very typical. This drop down. This October, November, and December numbers are way out of character. And so is this number right here in April. So, for me, whenever I would look into something, if the chart doesn't look right, there's always an answer why. So for prices to be last March at $1 million, and now it's sitting at $1 million, it's a big suspicion for me. So I would have to dig deeper into it myself. What is going interest rate for 3 years and 2 years? I don't know. I'm not really sure what the going interest rates are. Again, I'm a real estate broker, right? But I can tell you overall what we're seeing right now is we're seeing that this is the 5 years, but we're seeing an inversion where fixed rate is much lower than variable rate. And this is continuing. It's actually widening. You're seeing variable rates go up and fixed rates going down, which is a sign that the market is really, really sick and something is very, very wrong with the market. If you see something like that, you should be smart enough to know that there's mega problems that's coming. Yeah, Freddie, thank you very much for coming on today. It's good to see a happy face. L6Y. Let's try and pull up L6Y. Am I giving you guys help? Do you appreciate me coming on? I appreciate it if you are. Please do what you can for this channel. Please give me a thumbs up. Click the like button. It really, really helps me out if you do. L6Y average price last year, $1.3 million. Currently, it's sitting at 1.183. Man, that has been extremely resilient. Extremely resilient. L6Y. So that's a sell zone. Jessica's asking about L8Y. Okay. Let's try and pull up that one, L8Y. Oh, I wrote L8W. Good Lord, you guys. You would think that I wouldn't have these troubles. Did I do it right? L8W. Did I do it right? Okay, Jessica, here you go. So property prices were peaked at 1.1 million last February, currently selling for 738,000. So that's down a little bit more than average in L8W. I guess it really, really would depend on what type of product, what type of building that you're in, et cetera, et cetera. L4G. L4G. Oops, what did I do? Did I do wrong here? Oh, area code, sorry. L4G. You guys got a lot of questions going on today, so this is good. Hopefully that we're learning together. 1.6 million L4G last year it peaked at, currently sitting at $1.3 million. That's actually not too bad. Not too bad at all. So that's a very, very resilient area code, L4G. So good job if you're in L4G. Please let me know what's going on for 2 and 3 years, please, for interest rates. And so all I can tell you is that interest rates are not as simple as you think. There's going to be rates all over the place posted for you at 4, 4, 4s, 5s, all over the places. Also, if you go and look at what a 5-year is, there's different rates. So 2 years at 5.94, 3 years at 5.69. But you guys, you have to understand that based on your credit, based on your loan to value, based on your mortgage history, based on how much money you make, what your credit scores are, all of this changes. So we just had a client just yesterday that got 8.9% given to them. It's just because they have too many mortgages in their name. They have perfect credit, like 780 or something like that. But they still have to pay a very, very, very high interest rate. So you'd have to speak to a mortgage agent. If you want to reach me, email me at contact@Rough Team Realty, contact@Rough Team Realty, and ask me, and then we'll forward you the name of our mortgage broker. L9T. Let's pull up L9T for you. L9 Tango. All right. Oh, good. I got some other questions coming in on YouTube. I'm going to be with you in just 1 second. Okay. So L9T at 1.3 million, currently sitting at 1,084,000. That's about average, actually. That's very, very common. This is what I'm used to, if that means anything. All right. So over on YouTube, you guys are asking, can I lock down at 4.45 for a 5-year term? I doubt it. I doubt it, Freddie. I think that would be low. So if we're just going to take a look at what the rates are right now for 5-year fixed is what you're referring to. That's prime rate. Where was my chart? I lost it already. Just even look at prime rates. My goodness. Can you believe that? Prime rate is 6.7. So you would, in my opinion, anyway, you would never be able to get a 4% on a 5-year. Right now, on a 5-year, you should be paying around 6.5 for 5-year variable, on a fixed 5.5. But again, everything comes back to what you have, like what relationship you have with your bank personally, right? Freddie, you said you'll definitely call Rough Team Realty when you're ready. I look forward to working with you, buddy. Thank you very much. Whitby, L1P is a question that is coming up. L1P, like Papa, L1P. Let's try and pull that up. Thank you, Freddie, for the vote of confidence. We really appreciate it. The whole reason that we do this is coming on all the time is to help people get ahead. And so when they can get ahead now, when they call us, they're so far ahead because they've already learned all of our strategies already. So L1P prices at 1.5 million last spring, currently sitting at 1.2. 1,188,000, down 21%. That's very common. This is nothing out of the ordinary. The chart looks pretty much like all the other charts look. So nothing really special about L1P either way. It's not a screaming buy opportunity. And it's not a screaming sell opportunity either, but we are running into a lot more trouble in the future. And so you should be expecting for the rest of this year, some price declines to come back and get you. Do you happen to know the dollar value of outstanding HELOCs in Canada? I don't. This is what I can tell you. I don't know about HELOCs specifically. What I can tell you is that right now in Canada, we have record amounts of debt, record amounts of credit card usage, record amounts of HELOCs, and record low of savings, identical to the United States. All-time records of all of the debt, an all-time record low amount of money in the bank account. I don't have them off the top of my head right now, but this is everywhere. Rates will most likely rise in June. Freddie, I agree with you. I think that we have a very, very strong case to raise those interest rates by 0.7%, 0.25%. So this Bank of Canada that wanted to pause since January 25, do you think that's going to stick? I don't think so. They have screaming hot inflation, screaming hot core inflation, very, very high employment numbers, which is expressly what they don't want because of wage spiral. So I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be raising those rates. And do you think that I'm alone with that? Absolutely not. If we just take a look at the bond rate in the past 1 month, this is where are people betting that the mortgage rates are going to go up. Everyone and their dog since May 11th has been betting that the mortgage rates are going up. And that is why the bond rates are going up. So all the big money, all the big banks are betting that that rate is going to be raised on June 7th. So hopefully you guys are going to be prepared for this because unfortunately it's going to be uncomfortable for a lot of people. You are amazing to do this for people. I thank you. Well, I thank you guys for coming on and supporting us all the time. Please give us likes. Please follow our channel. Please, all you guys who are on Facebook and you guys who are on TikTok, please follow me on YouTube. Exactly the same name. It would really mean a lot to me if you would consider doing that. Guys, I'm behind about 25 comments, so I'm really trying to catch up with you. Please be patient. Is Oakville crazy? Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, Oakville is the absolute worst. I don't like to say that, but I mean, Oakville is beautiful to live in. Let's not take away from Oakville, okay? I used to live there, so let's not take away. When I'm saying the worst, I'm saying it suffered the biggest loss of anywhere in Canada, from 1.6 million down to 1.2 million. And the $400,000 drop in prices is ridiculous. If you compare it to other areas, really, really bad. Of course, if we include Toronto, Vancouver, for example, Toronto, Vancouver, yeah, they're bad, but the biggest drop in prices percentage-wise was Oakville and dollar-wise. Soulful. Vaughn, L4H is what I'm seeing a question come up for. L4H. Let's see what we can find you. L4H. L4H down 20%. 1.9 million down to 1.5 million. Yeah, and this is, I'm actually surprised it's not down more. The higher the price, the bigger the fall generally. So for a $2 million property, only to be down at 1.5, 25% drop, that is fantastic. It's holding up much better than you would have expected, for sure. Remember, the higher the price, the bigger the drop in percentage terms, not just dollar terms. London, Ontario price is $750 up to $800. Oh, is it? Well, that's a good question, you guys. Isn't this the exact question that we want to solve with data? All right, let's check it out. They're saying that London properties are $750 to $800,000. All right, let's check out London, you guys. All All right. London properties currently are selling for an average of $607,000 in London and St. Thomas. That's the average property price. But is it between 750 and 800? Were they off? Well, not really, because in March of 2022, average price was 773,000. So yes, you are correct. The price in London was 750 to 800, just currently not right now. But it really depends on the property type. Remember, you guys, this is an average comparing. It has all condos, townhomes, semis, and detached properties, all of them. So it depends on what type of product that you're actually like looking at. It can mean different things to different people. I don't think I have enough info for Trenton. I don't. I'm apologetic. I don't have that one, Blake. Hamilton. Let's see what we can pull up for Hamilton. Yeah, I have a lot of data on Hamilton, actually. Hamilton prices peaked at $1 million in February 2022, currently sitting at $842,000. We work in Hamilton all the time. Good to see you, Jessica. Thanks for coming by again. Would furnished homes sell? How do people feel about this generally? Yeah, people don't like furnished homes. Hardly ever. Google Hans TD specialist. He gave me the information just like you and a really low rate. Hans TD specialist. Oh, I'm glad that he got you a good rate. I wouldn't go to TD Bank right now. They're just they're in a little bit of doo-doo right now. They're very, very shorted. L6Y. Well, thank you for the suggestion. L6Y. Let me see. I'm trying to pull up L6Y for somebody. This is Mr. Safety. If you're looking at those prices peaked at 1.3, currently sitting at 1.2. I mean, that's freaking phenomenal, right? 1.3 sitting at 1.2? God dang. If you ever saw like a cell signal, like, my goodness, that's that's what I would be looking at right away. Sorry, man, I'm losing my voice, you guys. But Freddie's commenting over on YouTube that no one has a crystal ball. All we can do is calculate and guess, and he could not be more right. This is 1,000% correct, you guys. Nobody has a crystal ball. All we're doing is placing our bets, just like the bond rates are always doing, right? That when you look at a bond rate, this is where people are betting trillions of dollars. And we can only look at the law of probabilities. And it's just the probability is high that a interest rate will come. And I mean, it's not just me that says that. This is now millions of people and trillions of dollars all betting the exact same way. So who am I? I just follow the trends, right? Yeah, Freddie's telling you guys he appreciates it, and hit the like button, you guys. So please do that. I really, really appreciate it. The higher prices areas usually suffer more than the small properties. You're absolutely 1,000% correct. So a $5 million property could lose 50% of its value, but a property at 500,000 is actually going to go up. So there's never just one market, and there's not even one market in the same area code, because there could be commercial and residential, and maybe it's a big house and a small condo. It all changes. Hamilton is the armpit of the city. Joking, he says, Freddie. We need a little bit more room. The numbers are not dropping enough. Well, they're going to be continue to drop, you guys. So if you just go on and look at the lag effect, this is very, very important for you guys to look up. If you go to the lag effect and just take a look at, I think it's normally Investopedia, right? Investopedia. That's where most people go and look at stuff. Response lag. So response lag is the time that it takes monetary and fiscal policy designed to smooth out the economic cycle. So this is them raising the interest rates. That's what they want to know. And so how long do you want to know until prices actually come down? And so in here, I thought they actually mentioned it right here. I got it. Man, you guys, I am good. I deserved like 100 likes for that. The Federal Reserve cuts and the federal funds rate, it takes 18 months before there is any evidence that it changes impact. 18 months. We're not even 18 months since the first rate hike. I mean, take a screenshot of that, guys. It takes 18 months before there's evidence of that changes impact. It is just not happening. So, I mean, this is very, very important to me. You guys can let me know if you think it's important or not. Okay, got lots more questions coming in. My God, I got another 18. Whew, I'm trying. You're wearing me out here. Patrick, how are you, buddy? Thank you very much. L4G is the next question that is coming up. L4G. Let's try and pull you up. L4G. Here we are, peaked out at 1.6, currently sitting at 1.4, down 10% overall, January till now, January 2022 till now. Nothing special about this chart, right? It's kind of somewhere in the middle. But from peak 1.6 down to 1.4, it's only 200,000. I mean, that's not very much. So overall, I would say L4G is being pretty responsive. L9 Tango. Let's try to pull that one up. Whoops. But you guys, I think that you guys have had some good questions tonight. Thank you very much. At least I'm coming on here and it's worth it for you guys. Peaked out at 1.3 million, currently sitting at $1,084,000 for properties right there. In L9T, again, this is a blend across all the product types, but $1,084,000 gives us a good idea that prices have dropped around $240,000. But when you're starting at 1.3 million, this is kind of expected right now. Interest rates have gone up really, really, really high. So this is going to continue. We have been, you said that I'm so amazing for doing this for people. I thank you. You're very, very welcome. Hands gave you a rate of 4.86 on a 3-year. That's amazing. I can't see any banks giving that rate, 4.86, but I mean, incredible. Incredible. Freddie is saying, guys, this guy is the broker. Yes, the owner is sitting down with us to educate us. Got to respect it, man. Well, thank you, buddy. I really, really appreciate it. I'm really, really here to try to add value to you guys. If I add value to you at all, you can like the channel and follow us. We have courses that are coming up. We have some courses that are available now. We're writing a couple books. We got a lot of stuff that's coming for you in the future. So thanks very much. I got a question coming in from Tara. How are you? L1S is what she's looking for. Let's try and see what we can find for Tara. That is my sister's name as well, and I would die for her. So anything that you need. L1S. L1S is down 13% overall. So average prices in L1S peaked at 1.1 million last year, currently sitting at 880,000. So, that's down 200, what is that? 220,000, something like that. This is about average. As soon as you get under $1 million, remember, under $1 million, you don't have to put 20% down. Over $1 million, you do. And so all the properties that are below $1 million get an abnormal boost up. And this makes it very, very good for a property to be selling in the 880 range, for example. People will pile into that just to avoid that $1 million line that the mortgage brokers put on them. Should you buy in Aaron? Hamilton. Yeah, Jess, I think I looked up Hamilton, right? Should you buy in Aaron? I wouldn't be buying right now. The lag effect, please look up lag effect on Investopedia. We have to wait. It is not a buying opportunity right now. You feel Aaron doubled. Not really. I mean, it did double from 2020, but this is a very, very dangerous time for you to be playing with this game. So let's take a look. Let's see if I have enough info on Aaron. You need to wait at least until the fall to buy a property. So I understand what you're saying. You said, I think your exact terms were should I invest in Erin? So her comment was, I feel that property prices doubled. Okay, so back in 2018, prices were 700,000, and currently they're sitting at 1.2 million. So how far back do we have to go for them to double? But which I think you're remembering is last spring, the average price was $2 million in Erin. And so if you were looking in January 2021 at 850, yes. So for those 2 years, it went bananas and prices actually went to the moon. But the prices have coming way, way down. So now sitting at 1.2 million to 8. So now they haven't. It's gone down a lot from 2 mil down to 1.2. And so this is the effect of the interest rates. It's just crushing everybody. And so remember, this is all governments of the world are doing the same thing all over the place. So if we just look at the last 2 years, we can see that prices actually have been just trending downward. And so you have to expect that to continue. Just stay out of the way. It's a freight train coming down. And Olivia, hey, thank you very much for coming on. How CMLS lender? I don't know what that is. L9T is a question that is coming up. L9 Tango. That's very common. 1.3 million down to 1.1. I think that we already looked at this actually. This is very, very standard. This is standard. But prices are going to fall more. This spike that you see right at the end only is happening because of Silicon Valley Bank actually crashing. So that's the problem. Yeah, Tara. You said it's a great name. Yeah, Tara's the best name. She's the best. Freddie, yeah, 18 months seller's market right now. I think it's a seller's market right now for sure. If you're in an area that is only down 10%, for example, right now, and I mean the market should be down 35%, then you're ahead of the game. And so you should be selling it and pocketing that money because you actually can see interest rates are a prophecy. You know where things are going to be going. Freddie, imagine buyers from 2 years ago. Not only did they overpay by hundreds of thousands, they are now dealing with rising debts and double trouble. 1,000% correct. 1,000% correct. Tara, you said your partner's kicking himself for not buying when he moved here in 2018. Absolutely. So is everybody, right? But, looking backwards is always kind of tricky. Here is all the cities in Canada on one chart. Okay. So if you take a look at all of them, you'll see some patterns that come out, and they all come by interest rates. So when you look at them, you'll notice that they all go up together and they all fall together. But the difference is some, like Oakville, has real bad bumps, right? And they have bankruptcy events, right? If we go to another one, Mississauga, okay, in Mississauga, let me get on it. Mississauga, you have massive drops. What is it? From 860 dropping down to 760, could lose 100,000. What was it over here? 1.3 dropping down to 1 million. So losing 30% is a massive bankruptcy challenging event. But so there's a lot of properties down here that don't have that. Let's take a look at Quebec, for example. It doesn't have bankruptcy events in it. It's just slow and steady prices increasing. So, you need a collection of properties. And so where should you start your investing career? You should invest in very stable properties, something on the lower half of this choice. You don't want the upper half as your first property. All right. So let's try to, hey, Michelle, how are you? Ed E4V. I'm sorry, I don't have that one right now. I don't have that one. TD Bank. Yeah, I don't have TD. I don't work with TD. M1 Edward. Let's look up that one, M1 Edward. All right, if we look up N1 Edward right here, prices peaked out at 1.1 million, currently sitting at 925,000. I mean, if you only see a minus 2%, right? What does that tell you guys? That's the time that you want to be selling a property. because it's abnormally high. When a property is abnormally high, that's when you want to sell a property. Mehdi says, any possibilities of a market crash? Depends what you define as a market crash. Because if you take a look at, let's just pull up my favorite one that I was picking on today. I'm not really picking on it, right, guys? We're just showing how things work. Let's take a look at Oakville. Oakville prices went from 1.6 million and dropped all the way down to 1.2, liquidating $400,000. Okay, so you guys, that is a crash. That is a complete crash. That is wipe you out. Notice 2007, 2008, 2009. What happened to prices? Bupkis. Nothing happened. Okay? Look at what happened here. This is the biggest crash that has ever happened in the Greater Toronto Area for sure. So this is the problem. We have to define, what do we say is a crash, right? And that's the hard part, because by any definition on Earth, that is a massive crash. That is abysmal, unfortunately. So Freddie is saying, so Quebec has a more stable market than Ontario. Interesting. Yes, absolutely. And Tara, she's asking, like, where should you invest then? Well, if you just take a look at all of them, and let's just go through the bottom of the chart. If you take a look at this is all the major economies in Ontario, in Canada, and you could do this for the United States as well. It has all the different charts underneath, and so if you just look at it, that's in Quebec, Central Quebec, Fredericton. Where are they? Sault Ste. Marie, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Saskatchewan, Quebec again, Quebec, Nova Scotia, Saskatoon, Winnipeg, Nova Scotia, Edmonton, North Bay, Sudbury, Alberta, Quebec again, Calgary, Kingston, London. I don't even know where that is. Where's Tillsonburg? Don't even know. Ottawa, Woodstock. And you see, like, that's all in the bottom half. So bottom half are very, very stable. You just got to pick a place that's more stable. That's where you got to start your investing. Everyone has it wrong. You shouldn't be buying in Toronto as your first property ever. I find that very, very, very risky. Can you lock in at 4.89 or 4.99 on a 5-year fix right now? I don't think so. Most likely not. If you look at the rates right now for 5 years, 5-year variables, very, very wonky, up in the 5.5 and 6.5. They want much higher rates overall. But again, really, it all depends on your interest rate. The interest rate depends on your credit score, your loan to value, your history, your income. There's a lot of parts that go into it, right? All right. So ooh, you guys are really giving it to me today. I love it. Okay. All right, you guys. I got to get running, but listen, thank you very much for coming on tonight. I really, really, really appreciate it. I never take you guys for granted, but I want to make sure that I answer some questions for you before I actually head off. Okay. I got a lot of questions coming in, and so I'm going to answer some direct questions. If you have anything, I'm just going to check. I know that you're looking for a lot of areas. I'm sorry, there's about 40 that are left. Calgary is a good place. Yes, I really like Calgary. Calgary's a very good place to invest. Again, though, I probably wouldn't be buying right now. Freddie, you said you're going to be calling me this week, so look forward. If you're thinking of selling your property in the GTA, this is where I work right here in the Greater Toronto Area. You can contact me anytime. Myrna, you said thank you very much. Really appreciate you taking the time to help everyone. You're very, very welcome. That's what we're here for. We want you to help. If you're thinking of selling your property, you can always go to my website, sellhigher.ca. That's where we sell your property. If you want to put your name down for the courses and the books that we are creating, you can also go and email me at contact@Rough Team Realty. For the interest rates, I'm not a mortgage broker, so if you want to deal with my mortgage broker, you can always email me, contact@Rough Team Realty. One comment here said that you'll feel that you'll never be able to own a home, Gen Z. You can own a home tomorrow. Just it probably won't be in the city that you think. You won't be able to buy in New York, San Francisco, Toronto, but you might be able to buy one in Northern Ontario, for example. Have a great evening, Freddie. Thank you very much for coming on. The websites that we have, unfortunately, are not public. You can't get that information, unfortunately. Toyota Prius, you think that the current run-up is a dead cat bounce? I actually agree with you. I think that the possibility of it being a dead cat bounce or a channeling effect is super, super high. I was showing that chart earlier. I totally think so. Edmonton is a good place on the charts, but I wouldn't actually be going to Edmonton. I wouldn't be buying in Edmonton. Do you reckon prices will be down in the future? Yes, they will be. Which area to buy now? You can buy anywhere you want. Just buy a deal. That's the hard part. Always finding a good deal. Jessica, you're saying watch out for TD Bank. I actually agree with you. TD right now is the most shorted bank in Canada. Actually, I think it's in North America. So I wouldn't be dealing with TD Bank myself. Freddie, you're saying home ownership is out of reach. Look into other areas. Condo to start. Just get your foot through the door. Absolutely. Freddie, you got to be a realtor. What you're saying is the truth. You got to get your foot in the door, but you might have to buy a type of property that you don't think that you want right off the bat. And this is the problem. Everybody wants to go right away to the forever home. They're not even thinking about buying something and building them up like I did my life. I went from welfare to where I am today. I was in a tiny, not even a one bedroom. I had my bed in the kitchen. So, and you have to build yourself up. But everybody nowadays gets out of high school and says, I want a 4-bedroom house in the middle of Toronto. So I think that there's a generational thing that I just don't get. All right. I think I got to the bottom of the majority of the questions, you guys. I wish you the very, very best. Freddie, you're very right. Look forward to talking to you on YouTube. You guys on Facebook, thank you very much for coming on. TikTok, thank you very much for coming on. Do you think there will be a recession? I think that the fact that anybody believes that we are not in a recession, I think is a need for them to do some serious homework, because we are full blown in a recession. If you guys have been following me for any time, you know that as of last July, we were officially in a recession last July, and I was telling you that we were in a recession last April. So yes, we are full blown into a recession. Be very, very, very careful. So be careful. That's all I can tell you. Keep on learning. Financial education is the key. If you want any part of our courses that are coming up or our books that are coming up, please email us at contact@Rough Team Realty and put in it book or course. If you're interested in it, we'll put you guys on the wait list. If you guys are interested in selling your properties anywhere in the Greater Toronto area, please go to sellhigher.ca, and we'll talk to you soon. Hope you have a fantastic week. Keep on crushing it. We'll talk to you soon.